So without further ado, let's tune to our final agenda item, something that I'm incredibly excited about. And I want to welcome everybody to the Beehive because we have zCOMB Finance, our newest partner, on the line right now to discuss what they're creating and to talk a little bit more about our partnership. I'm going to invite Coins and Pablo to the table as well to as we go through in a Q&A format to get to know a little bit more about our team, our partners at zCOMB Finance. We are pleased, very pleased, to have a fully doxed team. Debouche, who's head of growth and product at zCOMB Financial, Moon, the lead developer, and Stinky, head of tokenomics and research. So, welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I've heard you guys comment about your project as a DeFi as a service protocol on the Phantom Network with the goal of sustaining the Phantom Network. You have a $26 million market cap. If I'm not mistaken, correct me on any of this. You have $1.8 million in your liquidity pool, and you came to market as yield optimizers, right? By offering nodes or hives. And you're providing financial products to the Phantom ecosystem. But tell us a little bit more about exactly what that means, what you guys are doing, and how you're bringing value to Phantom and the entire DeFi ecosystem. And again, thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you guys.
Perfect, perfect. First off, thank you so much, Captain, and the entire rec team for just having us on the AMA. It's an extreme pleasure to be on here and talk about the future between our protocols. Now, you mentioned something interesting about how we started. So yeah, we started as a DeFi, a DAS protocol on the Phantom ecosystem or network, I should say. And the entire goal since the beginning of our launch was sustaining the protocol and making sure people have legitimate returns. And as we kind of developed, we focused on providing as much utility behind our token as possible. Therefore, that's why we started expanding and actually going from we were the first to deliver on the RPC endpoints, and we converted our hives into actual nodes. And those nodes have utility. And then after there, we kind of started advancing a little bit more and started optimizing our protocol, which is when we introduced our auto compounders, aka our buzz vaults. And then further down the road, we're actually a few days out, we're going to release our staking pools. And the whole idea behind releasing each of these features is to build an in-house financial service ecosystem where everybody that's within the comb, I would say atmosphere, they can actually invest and utilize services that they already do outside of, I would say, outside of the node sphere, right? Like for us, like we want to implement high APR staking pools because people already automatically do that, right? You guys mentioned you guys were already doing this as farmers. So we want to be able to provide that. So that's why we're extremely excited for the partnership that is arising between us, is because I feel like there's a lot of overlap that our protocols can actually intertwine with and make sure that the investors benefit um, as much as possible, I would say.
Yeah, and when you talk about the high APRs you guys are delivering, I mean, I'm looking on your website right now. I see 328.5%. That's tremendous. And I think when you speak to the partnership, what your core competencies are, what you guys are trying to deliver to the market, we have so much in common. And it's why this is an obvious, seamless partnership. Because, when Comb launched, and correct me if I'm wrong again, but I think your main goal was to give all fees back to your users. You're focused on building your treasury. We have a very similar objective. Our fees go back to our users in the way of reflections and dividends. And, you know, I think you guys also launched on the Phantom Network, similar to us, first ever farming as a service protocol on the Phantom Network, because we all wanted to help achieve scale on a more affordable network for our clientele, our community, our loyal investors. Um, Talk to me a little bit about the tokenomics, if you don't mind, Stinky. I probably think I'll kick it over to you. I think what I saw on the website was that, and through reading through your Git book, watching all of your AMAs on YouTube, and diving into everything you guys have brought to market, I saw you have about 100,000 comb tokens, which are subject to inflate. 9 comb equals 1 comb node. I don't know if that's changed. That's what I read on the Git book, but maybe you could educate us a little bit on that, Stinky, if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay. So I actually came onto the team. Can you hear me? Sorry, double check that first.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. So I came onto the team after launch. I was very into what they were doing, and then I've helped to make these changes. So The website is still correct on how much it costs to make nodes. That hasn't changed. The main point of my team is to help transition these future products in a sustainable way that benefits node holders. I guess the way to think about it is that node holders are like the initial investors, right? So they get the most perks. So we have to make sure that any new feature we add benefits them the most, I guess, right? So we need to make sure that anything we add doesn't make it seem like they're missing out for being early, right? And then we need to make sure that they're rewarded the most. So how it kind of works is once we have these new features with the LP farm, we've got the yield optimizers and any future features, they will feed back the fees and the revenue from that to people that own zCOMB, right? And the people that own the most zCOMB are people that have nodes. So I need Dabush to let me know what I can leak here, and maybe talk about some of the other plans before I can go into
Oh,
some more of
please
the
leak it
in-depth
all.
tokenomics.
Leak it all.
I have to have Dabush cover what I can leak here. Go for it. Again, some
Honestly,
messages.
let's give the crowd what they came in for. Let's give them a little bit more alpha, so people start tuning in, because AMAs are extremely important to tune in, guys. Because the whole point of this is to provide you guys as much knowledge as possible, and we will, as a protocol, be releasing educational threads, so you guys have true knowledge of each feature that we're going to release before zCOMB is released. But Stinky, if you want to touch base a little bit more and provide people what they deserve, then let's give them something to get their money's worth, I would say.
Oh, I've been so excited. I've been hoping I could be the one to leak. Let's go. Okay. So zCOMB, right? That's what's been going on. That's what kind of pulls all of this together. Okay.
This is
So
DeFi 4.0, isn't that right, Stinky? zCOMB?
I didn't say that. Dabush said it. But technically, if you combine the other aspects of DeFi into a whole thing, you can add the numbers up and it equals 4. So that counts, right? I actually do agree in a sense. But anyway, the point is to have a holistic system where you cover the best features of DeFi in one place, right? So you have, like, for example, you have like Scream as a lending protocol, you have Beefy as an auto compounder, you have multi-chain as a bridge, you have, Boo as a DEX, and all these different things. They have different tokens and the revenue pours into it, right? What if you can take multiple of these features, but you have one token, right? Then it gets revenue from all these different protocols across an ecosystem, and then eventually that can in the future expand cross-chain, etc., etc. So currently in the short term, what this means is we have the LP pools, we have the yield optimizers, we have nodes, and then next up will likely be a lending protocol of some kind, along with some stable coins, but I'll get into that later. zCOMB is our way of categorizing who supports the project to get these revenues, right? It's like a locking mechanism like Curve and LQDR and things like that. But the difference is that it gets fees from a variety of places. So any money we earn across the LP farms or the yield optimizers goes into zCOMB users. And the reason that this benefits node holders the most is because they're going to be generating the most zCOMB per day per time period, right? As the LP pools are set to be about 20% of the emissions, while the nodes are currently at about 80%. And then there's free floating tokens that already exist, which make the math a bit more complicated. But that's pretty much how it works out as we move towards the total supply. This means that if you own nodes now and you lock up your zCOMB rewards, that you'll own the larger percentage of zCOMB, right? Which means you'll get a constant amount of fees as we grow. A flaw with LQDR, I guess, and what we see is a difference is that you can dilute out other users through the LP emissions through the farms, right? Unless the users keep putting more LP in and locking them up. With the system here, once you have your nodes or whatever, you generate a constant amount of zCOMB compared to everyone else, and that means you hold your shares forever. There is one caveat there with the current system, and is that nodes compound infinitely. That is obviously not sustainable, and it's the reason that a lot of node projects have issues with their tokenomics. It's even Strong is the best of all the node projects. Nobody is even going to debate that, but even they are having issues with the amount of nodes they have, right? So we will be introducing a cap on nodes at some point as like a way to have initial investors protect their investment pretty much. It protects their investment from dilution over time as we grow. Some people, as we've been talking about this, feel a bit worried about that as their plans are compounding. But you have to remember that if infinitely compounding nodes will dilute you out, regardless of whether you can extrapolate the math or not. But we do have some documents we'll be releasing that shows why this works in a bit more detail. But pretty much the TLDR there is that fees from everything we do pours into the one place, which is zCOMB. You get that from your COMB, and that benefits node holders and anyone else who buys COMB up and locks it.
Beautiful. Obviously, I think I love compounding, Captain Compound, but nobody wants to dilute their shares. So it's amazing to hear that you guys are cognizant of that and looking for a solution. Now, when it comes to zCOMB, basically, if we could sum it up, this is the holy grail of your protocol, right? That integrates all of your technology, essentially, at the end of the day.
Yep. And it makes sure that the revenue goes to people who are here for the long term. You can't just come in, buy up a bunch for a day, take the fees for a day, because there's high volume or something, and then leave again, right?
Yeah, understandable. So that's really interesting. I also understand you guys have even more developments under the hood. Maybe this is a question for Moon, lead developer. Talk to us a little bit about, or I've heard you describe this too, Debush. So I don't know who's best to articulate this, but talk to us about the metaverse that you guys are building. I've seen some videos on that. It's really impressive.
Yeah, so we have a lot in store. We think that as we move on, we want to still like direct ourselves into a tech company, and so this is where we like kind of shine. I think with our previous developments, we've been able to tackle a lot of issues and kind of bring forth to our promises. And so, a somewhat roadmap for us is that we're gonna kind of fork in two different ways into financial products as well as the more fun social aspect, which is the metaverse. For the metaverse aspect, we're going to keep going into the direction we wanted to create a social platform, host game shows, and create a way that people can interact over the entire fandom ecosystem. Let that be trading all within the metaverse or talking to your peers within this metaverse or just having fun showing off like NFTs perhaps. And another thing would be like visiting museums with awesome NFTs, the highest selling ones perhaps too. And in the financial direction, which we are gonna probably primarily focus on the side to metaverse, is the our first one is probably going to be the bridge. We also want to build a bridge not from Ethereum to Phantom like you guys have right now, but we want to create a bridge from outer ecosystems like Bitcoin, Filecoin, Solana, like these ecosystems that nobody really has tapped in yet on the Phantom ecosystem. If you think of bridges like Xpollinate or Multichain, there are some like bridges that support these ecosystems. But if you think of it, Bitcoin has like a huge um there's a lot of market, right? That hasn't been tapped yet. And so our bridge is to kind of go out and find those large markets that haven't been tapped and kind of allow people to bridge their funds from those markets into the Phantom ecosystem. And after that, we plan on creating a lending and borrowing system. And these two like projects that we want to build are derived from like just the fact that they have really strong streams of revenue. And we want to kind of find as many products as we can to kind of boost our yields for zCOMB. And so like by the end of it, we just want to create a suite of financial products that you could all rely on. And if you're in the COMB ecosystem, it's the most beneficial if you use all COMB products. And I know how Sam has talked about how we are like trying to mimic the Apple ecosystem. It's it's for us to kind of create that same ecosystem, but for financial products to kind of help the Phantom ecosystem at all. And so, yeah, the roadmap, metaverse, lending, bridging, and altogether, this should create many streams of revenue to benefit all zCOMB holders.
Wow. So you guys, I mean, you have seriously high aspirations. I absolutely love that. Pablo, I saw you took your mic off mute. Did you?
Yeah,
Did you ask something?
I just wanted to tie everything that's been mentioned back to the food farmer community as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you guys can understand why we're telling you about this. So the benefit to us is we're having conversations with the zCOMB team about zCOMB, how we can get involved and how we can get a good allocation in this from inception, so as that we can derive yield and obviously benefit our treasury on our side, but also support these guys in their launch. We're talking to them about the development of their metaverse, potentially having a farmer's stall in there where people, as they eventually transition their Discord to this environment, which will be a far more interactive and fun way for people to engage, that there'll actually be a location where if someone would like to do some yield farming, they can jump on and pick up some food farmer tokens. So there's some of the high level things. We had 6 bullet points that we talked through with the team. That's 2 of them. There were some other things that we're yet to sort of finalise with the team that are pretty exciting as well that we've been talking to them about. So the marketing partnership is what we're doing now. Talking on each other's AMAs so we can make our communities aware that we're working together and looking to benefit each other's projects. But there are some very direct ways in which we can sort of help work with zCOMB and also have a benefit for our treasury at the same time, which indirectly benefits every single holder that's listening to this. So these are the sort of things that we're continuing to build out and continuing to add value to our community here. So Dabush, I might kick it over to you. I mean, I saw you came off mute there for a second as well. Is there anything that you wanted to add on top of what you've already talked about so far?
No, honestly, Phil, Moon, and Stinky pretty much said everything on the nose. I do just extremely excited for the future of our protocol and for the potential of what we can actually make up with your guys' protocol as well. I see there's a lot of overlap. You mentioned how you guys would have like the next iteration for our metaverse. You guys can your community can interact within our verse, and that's something that's gonna be really nice. So I think what would be super cool is after this we can kind of talk about perhaps releasing a slight beta key to your users, so they can kind of see what we're talking about, because we are talking about a metaverse and it's really hard to kind of really visualize that, right? Because it can mean so many things. And if you guys haven't seen any pictures or any of that stuff, it's something that where you guys have to actually feel it to believe it and to see it. So what we'll do as us is we want to give as much exposure of our protocol to your community as possible, and the same with you guys to our community, just so everybody knows that what we're trying to do at the end of the day, our interests all align, which is to make sure that everybody that's supporting us early on is reaps the most benefits at the end of the day, right? This is we're all super early in just in this entire ecosystem of Phantom, so it's really nice to see. I would say this, like, the whole aspect of just DeFi, right? Like decentralization. Like, this is where we can all really benefit each other out and just support one another in any way we possibly can. Then by all means.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dabush. And my takeaway is you guys truly are a DeFi as a service protocol. As you mentioned, you're offering a holistic suite of financial products to your community and to your users. And I think the one thing that maybe we could add value on is obviously the farming as a service component. And as Pablo alluded to, if we have a farmer's market in your metaverse where your users can access our team of DeFi and TradFi experts, our team of elite farmers and portfolio managers to go out and yield on their behalf, I think that is a huge benefit for both communities. And something that I also wanted to ask you is, I've heard you in the past talk about your growing treasury, and you guys seem like you have a lot on your plate in terms of development and where you're taking this project from a technology side of things. So have you heard about our management as a service offering?
Yes, and that's something we're actually very intrigued by. So we kind of just it's kind of new, right? Like, this isn't something we've heard too much about, but one
Yeah,
thing
we have literally pioneered the space.
that's a beauty, man. Like, honestly, that's what we look for as far as partnerships, and any protocols that we want to work with are innovators at the end of the day. This is we are all a tech business. And yeah, like, obviously, like, since the beginning, like, even in previous AMAs, I've always mentioned saying that any profits we make for the time being, I want to keep everything in house to make sure zCOMB is sustaining by just zCOMB's products, right? Every product that we offer, I want it to have an actual revenue within our just within our protocol, right? I don't want to rely on anybody else for the time being, just because we didn't have an adequate team. But given that you guys have returned 268% in a matter of since your guys' launch, and you guys launched a little over a month ago, less than a month ago,
Yeah.
And that's insane, right? That's insane. So it's when it comes to stuff like that, why not give it to the pros and let us do what we want to do the best, and let the pros handle what they're good at, right? So it's as far as every skill set, if there's a missing piece of the puzzle, and if you guys are that piece of the puzzle, which I think you guys are, then by all means.
You took the words out of my mouth, my friend. And
hot off
call me
burpees,
bold. Call me bold, but the zCOMB sounds incredibly exciting. And,
yeah, you guys mentioned. Sorry to cut you off. You guys mentioned how you want to go. What was it? You want to hit 10.3 million or something of that nature. And I'm telling you, zCOMB is that route. I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, again, the lines are open for communication. Let's talk about how we can partner on that. Maybe get pre-sale access and potentially even provide our community to the pre-sale access there. Again, call me bold, but I'm just putting it out there for everybody to hear that we want to continue to grow our relationship and the benefits we have for our community alongside yours as a symbiotic relationship.
Of course.
Pablo, I saw you off mute again.
Yeah, guys, just going to say it's all very exciting. What we've been talking about is like an OTC type of deal for the Treasury, and working deeper with the zCOMB team, because these guys are innovators. They're solving the node issue, which, as we know, is unsustainable typically elsewhere. So we're very excited to see how we can collaborate together and continue to bring value adds to the community. So our treasury growth's been great. We'd love to be able to replicate that success for zCOMB. And as we've said, we're building out this mass offering, and it's going to be another funnel for us to continue to add value to the DeFi ecosystem as a whole, but also have multiple revenue streams coming in outside of just being reliant on the buy-sell tax, which so many other protocols are at this stage. So it then starts to become a real business, a real project, and that's where we're sort of putting our skill sets to work from the TradFi environment, getting some account managers on board, and really rolling this out. So it then pads our treasury. We're then growing the treasuries of other members of our ecosystem, and it really does create a really good symbiotic relationship. So that's all I wanted to add. I'm excited to see what we can do with you guys, and I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, and listen, I've said this from the beginning of our project. When you look at a team, the way you analyze every team in terms of your research and identifying whether or not you want to invest your hard-earned capital into this project is you look at the people, you look at the process, and you look at the performance. And that's exactly why we want to partner with a team like zCOMB Finance, because they have the people. You just heard Stinky, you heard Debouche, you heard Moon. These guys are incredibly well put together and technically sound in regards to exactly what they're delivering in the DeFi world on the Phantom ecosystem. And their vision is bright. What they have put forward in their roadmap is truly mind-blowing, and we are honored to be entering a partnership with such a high-quality, high-class team. I want to thank you guys for your time. Debouche, Stinky, Moon, thank you so much for coming on here. And, I want to give you the floor one final time. Is there anything else you want to add? And also, I'm sure a lot of our listeners are bulled up after hearing what you guys had to mention. Where can they find out more about your product?
Yes. So first off, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to have us on here. It was a pleasure, and the next one's on us, right? So I guess the best way to find us is so I came on as zCOMB Financial. You guys can click this profile, and then in our bio, you will have our Telegram page, which we launched a week ago, our Discord, and our blog, and also our website too. So if you want to find out the best communication platform is Twitter and Discord. Join the Discord if you have any questions about anything we spoke about today. By all means, ask away in our general chat, and we will answer it. Like I said, the whole point that we wanted to do, and we did drop a lot of alphas for you guys, is because we want people to actually engage in these AMAs and actually, like ask questions and get more knowledgeable. Because at the end of the day, DeFi is, it is risky, but it's also, it is a future. And if it's going to be the future, there has to be some faith and security. And we don't want like people to kind of, we don't want to attract traders. We want to attract investors, right? And the only way to do that is by making you guys as provide as much knowledge as possible. So if there's any questions that wasn't answered or anything's unclear about zCOMB or even just anything, right? Just ask away and we'll answer it. And once again, thank you guys so much, Captain, Food, Pablo. You guys were phenomenal. You guys, honestly, this was one of the best AMAs. You guys led it so well. If like it was extremely fluid, and I'm very very surprised. Not like surprised, but you guys killed it. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. If you don't mind, maybe stick around for some Q&A, as I'm sure people might have some more questions about the protocol. And I know I speak on behalf of everybody here. We're very excited for zCOMB. And now I'm going to be corny and just say we'll see you around in the metaverse.
I know. I think what we got to do is we got to give some beta keys out. We got to give some beta keys.
Absolutely. Please do. I'm sure people would love to check it out. I've seen some of your videos. They look fantastic. It's super unique. It looks like very high quality, and can't wait to get in there. So let's open it up to Q&A. We have we're a little bit over the hour, but we're here for you guys, and we have zCOMB Finance here to answer any questions you have on their protocol. And we've been through a lot over the last week, a lot. So please don't be shy. Step up. Ask us anything you want. And we could also go through the Telegram and the Discord to see if there are any other comments or questions. Let me comb through. I actually don't see anything.
I've got a quick question while you're searching.
Yes,
I want
please.
to ask the zCOMB Finance team, what are your biggest or favorite protocols, coins outside of zCOMB? So we obviously know zCOMB is one of the best out there, but you guys are committed to building the Phantom network, and we just like to hear people show their bags and provide any alpha for our community.
Yeah, I guess Phil, if you want to
tell me I was mispronouncing zCOMB the whole time.
No, yeah, I wasn't going to say anything about that. But Phil, if you want to like leeway into all the pools that we're offering, the different types of pools, I think that would be a nice way to kind of describe our biggest, I would say, interests. But I don't know, Phil, if you have anything specific.
So I think the blue chips we kind of want. So the blue chips that we're offering at the moment is going to be Spirit, Boo, and Beats. And Beats is by far my favorite because you guys have. And we are looking to go into solidly, but right now there's a bit of drama, and we're looking into that direction, but it's a bit on standby. But our pools will kind of be centered around those three at the moment. But
yeah. Just to kind of like follow up with that, so everything that we're going to be offering within our ecosystem, as far as our vaults go, our pools go, are going to be kind of the top protocols on Phantom, I would say, as far as like the blue chips. So we want to kind of stick with that and provide the highest APRs that people can find, so that we're not just attractive for zCOMB holders, but we're attractive to just kind of I would say the retail Phantom users. So if that, hopefully that answers your question, Food.
Definitely, I know. I mean, we're super bullish Beats on our team as well. I know Pablo himself is very interested in that protocol. They're doing some. Yeah. Let Pablo
Beats.
jump in.
Yeah, man, I've been scooping them up around 80 cents personally, and I know we've been trading a bit in the treasury too. But as you guys know, Oath is now available to be staked on SolidX and Reaper, but it's coming up on the Beats platform as well. So that's going to be an 80-20 split between Oath and Beats. So right now I'm on there compounding as much as I can with my duo. It's the duo that I've got. I've also got a couple of other LPs set up with some blue chips. And this is just me personally. And I'm trying to scoop up a ton of Beats so I can make up my other 20% because I went pretty heavy in Oath. So it'll be cool to see what you guys have got there as well. But I think Beats is bullish. I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I picked up some Oath as well. I had one of the Beats NFTs airdropped to me way back at the start, so I used that to get my allocation of Oath. I think Oath and Beats are some of my favorite protocols. Well, Oath is looking like it's going to be one of the better ones, and I really love Beats. I do like Scream as well, but that gets kind of left in the dirt sometimes.
Well, lucky
People
you, I had
forget.
to pay for my Beats NFTs.
Hey, so it's Coom, not Comb.
No,
It's
it's comb.
definitely Comb.
It's
I
Comb. All
said
right. I was
Coom
like,
like the
yeah,
first.
honeycomb, beehive. All right, it's a British accent, I guess, coming out of Coins Catcher.
No, it's because we've been doing so much stuff with Code 7 and they're a Tomb fork, so I automatically just thought Tomb.
Okay, all right,
No,
good,
no,
good, good.
it
So
makes sense.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't making a fool of myself for the last hour. It looks like
No,
we have
I
a
feel like
question
saying
coming
coom is
from
gonna, yeah.
yeah, we have a question coming from BB. Hath or truth? BB, what do you got for us?
Hey boys, how you going? It's really good AMA. Just a question for the COMB guys. Hey, how are you? I'm just in an AMA. Give me 1 sec. Yeah. Sorry guys, I just had a mate drop in. Just a quick question on zCOMB. So is that a token that you get if you lock up COMB when it comes
Yes.
out? Is that?
Yes.
We'll only answer your question if you get your friend to buy both Comb and FFF right now. I'm just kidding. Kicking it, you guys.
But yeah, it's a token that you'd have to lock up to receive. And the thing about zCOMB is that we plan on offering like a whole bunch of different tokens actually. So, I guess I do want to spill some more alpha, but the initial like lineup that we kind of want to bring out initially will be Beats, Spirit, Boo, T-shirt, Two Share, Solid, and Solid X, and they will all be funded by the LP pools and as well as the yield optimizers. And as we move on to the bridge and the lending, we would expect more tokens to come out of it. So yeah, that lineup is kind of sick to me, and hope you guys are excited for it too.
Yeah, so one way you want to view it is so like Moon touched base on how like I want to kind of build it, like imitate kind of the whole Apple brand, right? So when you're buying Apple products, if you're like investing in their stock, the way you support that stock is by buying their products. So the way if you're supporting zCOMB is by basically locking up COMB, and basically by locking up COMB, you share a piece of revenue that COMB generates, and that basically share of revenue that you receive depends on your percentage of zCOMB compared to the circulating supply. It's actually remarkable if you actually think about it. Suppose like we have 100K circulating supply and you own 10,000 COMB that you lock up. You own 10,000. You own 10% of COMB's revenue essentially.
Does that answer your question, BB?
I think BB just got blown. I think BB just got blown. I think BB just got blown away. He was like, "Wait, 10%?" And what's awesome too is that's what we're offering today, right? And the beauty is we're going to offer more services in the future. At the same time, you get rewarded with different currencies, and with every currency you get rewarded with, there's going to be a place within our ecosystem that you can actually utilize them and get the top yields in Phantom. So hopefully, right? Like we want to be extremely competitive. So your share shall increase as well over time if you are bullish with COMB. So that's it gets really nice when you really think about the bigger picture, and that's really why we're so focused on providing a lot more educational resources to our audience. It's kind of describing each pillar that we have so far. And before we kind of release zCOMB, we want them to kind of understand what we offer and how this can truly benefit you, not just COMB, but you as an investor for your like future, I would say.
Can I touch on that Apple point? And when I say can I mean I'm going to. The reason that using Apple's products while owning the stock is beneficial is because not everyone who uses their products will own the stock, which means you get a disproportionate amount of their revenue compared to the users, right? They have a high user base compared to the amount of individuals who own Apple stock. Therefore, all the money made by the users who use it just because it's a good product filters into the people that own the stock. It's kind of the same thinking.
Exactly.
I see a loyal COMB follower, Goosemon, has a question for us as well. Goose, you are you're brought up to the floor. All you have to do is unmute your mic.
What's going on,
And
guys?
hopefully you're going to ask us how you can buy FFF.
Well, I actually ended up buying 40 minutes ago, so
Legend.
yeah,
Love
supporting
it.
the system, supporting the partnership. Seems like
Thank
you guys
you.
are doing good things after hearing you guys talk too. I just had a quick wanted to bring up a talking point for the Phantom ecosystem for kind of both parties to talk about. I feel like Phantom's really lacking like a launch pad right now and seeing the success with like Trader Joe and S Joe. Do you think we're going to see a top DEX move into that kind of structure?
I think that's pretty interesting, to be honest. I know Beats are, exploring balancer pools, especially with their LGE mechanism, and I know they've had Tarot go through it and now Oath go through it. Both were super successful. So I think it'd be interesting to see whether they are, and we have close links with the team, so we could actually explore it with how, like, whether they are looking to explore going, for earlier down the chain. It's something I could definitely see Spooky doing as well, because, like, I mean, their platform almost mirrors the UI and the slickness of Trader Joe's. So I mean, it's definitely up for grabs right now. I think between Spooky and Beats, one of them likely will try it out.
Yeah, no, solid answer. I'm thinking Spooky too. It's exactly what you're saying with like similar kind of UI, and it seems like they could implement something exactly like Trader Joe did, just because they are kind of the top DEX right now on Phantom, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what plays out, even with Spirit Swap too, and for real about Spirit. But
Good point.
yeah, it's what's nice is I feel like there's it's very it's interesting because like when you're going on AVEX, you're typically just going towards Trader Joe's. It's like what's like everybody kind of
Yeah.
uses. On Phantom, it's kind of like diverse a little bit, so it's really interesting. Like people have like their go-to dexes. Like ours is Spirit, but it's gonna be interesting to see what plays out.
Yeah, no,
I'm personally only using Spirit for Comb. I do like Spooky, but maybe it's just I haven't looked into Spirit as much.
Yeah, we love the Spirit guys though. I like the Spirit Bridge a lot more than the Spooky Bridge. I don't know. It's always played out more.
how
Okay.
bridges to like Synapse, and these are multi-chain.
Yeah, it's kind of the
I
same.
like Synapse. Yeah, Synapse has been really good for me too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But Goose, it's always great. It's always a pleasure, man, having you up on the always talking, giving us talking points, man. Seriously, thank you so much. And honestly, I miss I miss the what is it the feedback on the metaverse. Like I promise you, those stuff that we're gonna implement, it's gonna come out.
Hey man, I'm always open to getting a key. You know what I mean? I'm always open to testing some stuff out if you ever. Anything comes up.
Create a ticket, reach out, create a ticket on our Discord. We'll make it happen. All right.
That's early adopter.
Amazing.
There we go.
He's actually
support
putting in a
the
lot
FFF. Support the Comb. Here we go.
Amazing.
Here we go.
He bought 40
hey,
minutes
Goose,
ago. That kind of shows
where
you
are
how
you
he
from
is.
in Canada?
I'm from Toronto.
Figured. I could hear it. Love it.
No way.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it, bro. No, I'm excited for what you guys are gonna bring, partnering, and again, FFF. This is like that type of product, like letting the real professionals and grow funds. Like it's something that retail needs So it's awesome.
That's amazing. We appreciate the vote of confidence and you seeing the value that we're adding. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've got another question coming from Jetpack Jack, Philly Iverson. You are on the floor. You can unmute your mic and go ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to know how much of my dignity do I have to lose to get access to this beta? Like,
are you talking about for the metaverse?
You know, I'm talking about everything, anything, and everything.
No, honestly, so on our side, a lot of what we want to do is we want to so we do want to have some sort of chance system, right? Like we want to keep, because that's just how we can keep things fair. But at the same time, I have seen you in our Discord, and I've seen Goose. So when it comes to like individuals that just put in the most work, as far as not work, right, but just having the most support and like just kind of being around and just supporting as much as you possibly can, that goes a lot longer than by chance in our eyes, from our protocol. And I'm pretty sure it's going to go the same way with Captain. So, like I said for Goose, I say Moose, um, but go ahead and just create a ticket. We'll make it happen if you guys want to get access and just, so you guys can actually, I don't know, play a part and see what you guys are thinking. Because for me, like, even though this isn't what's going to sustain COMB, mind you, this zCOMB is our holy grail. This is what's actually going to be, you know, what's going to make COMB, stay. Our metaverse is a long-term play, and that's why I never want to pitch it as a financial service, because it's not, right. We want it to be a social hub where people and users can interact with, and it's like a whole new world, and this is where we can like literally have a 10-hour conversation about what we can add and what we can do, because the possibilities are truly endless when we talk about the verse. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen videos and all that good stuff about it, but yeah, go ahead, man. Just go ahead. But as far as like that, if that's the only beta you're referring to, I don't know any other betas if you're trying to get into. I guess you got to just stay put and find out for the next one. But that's the only one that we currently have that we can offer. At the same time, we will be releasing a lot more articles around zCOMB. So hopefully, if there's a way, we might create some sort of list. If there is, we might. But at the same time, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, my friend. At the end of the day.
Yeah, and Mr. Jetpack, sir, we offer alpha all day long in our Telegram and Discord chat. We are constantly talking about the investments we're making. You could follow us on Twitter too, where you'll see the positions we're taking in our treasury. And if you go to our website, you can check out our dashboard. And oftentimes that's being updated in real time in regards to what we're adding to our wallets. And you could follow along with our farmer wallets to see the positions we're taking. So we're trying to help people learn alongside us and alongside our team of expert investors and farmers so that you can have a first look at all the opportunities as we see them developing.
Thank you guys. I mean, that was really, really cool. That was definitely what I was passively hinting at. Both of you guys sound like very intriguing. COMB was my first investment in crypto at all, and really helped me understand how to invest in projects and understand that investing in teams is the most important thing you can do. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I just followed both of you, and I'm going to join those communities as well. So thank you, and have an amazing night, guys.
Thank
Likewise,
you so much.
Thanks, Legend.
That was really nice.
Yeah, seriously.
No,
Again,
yeah, super nice. Go ahead, Captain.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like he touched up on a good point, saying that like yeah, like so far in the beginning, there has been some bad actors in this space, but the good actors are the ones that are gonna kind of stay, and this is where it gets really nice because the whole aspect of decentralization is to provide you guys communities with as much authority as possible, and it's gonna be nice. And so the fact that we're building a wholesome community both ends, it's really nice.
Yeah, look, the cream always rises to the top. It's pretty easy to how to separate the wheat from the chaff, saying in regards to finding out who's legit and who's not, because you can tell who's working right away. And
Exactly.
I mean, this partnership and countless others that I'm sure you're delivering and we're delivering are showing that we truly care for our community and we want to bring value in every possible way. So I think with that said, I have no more questions here. Again, thank you guys from the COMB team, or COOM team, as Coins would say. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a real pleasure to have you guys here. And we're gonna close out the call as we normally do. I haven't seen any questions coming in from Discord or Telegram either. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. We'll answer you in our groups. But you know, as we kind of end the call talking about our community, we all know that's the most important part of what we're all doing here in crypto is developing premium communities. And like I said earlier, I want to remind every single person here, we have an active community engagement competition going on where you can win 1 ETH or 0.25 ETH or zero point 0.1 ETH if you end up in the top 3 by spreading awareness regarding our protocol. And one of the keys to this competition is spreading awareness regarding our partnerships and our investments. So go out there and tweet about COMB. Tweet about what these guys are doing. We just gave you all of the alpha, and let people know about zCOMB. Let them know about our partnership and how we are both teaming up to continuously bring alpha to our communities and to put our communities in the best position in the DeFi and crypto world. So again, I'm going to end how I typically do. I speak on behalf of our entire team when I say we are absolutely honored and humbled to be awarded the responsibility of overseeing your hard-earned assets. We do not take this responsibility lightly, and we vow to hold ourselves to the highest standards so that we can deliver for you. And that wraps it up today for our, 15th AMA here on March 3rd or March 4th if you're coming to us from the future in Australia. Thanks again to the team at zCOMB. Thanks to our community for tuning in. Farmer over and out.
Thank you, guys.